Hello, Shiv. How are you? How is everything?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm doing great. I'm safe and sound. Thanks for your concern. How about you? How are you doing today?
Same here, everything going well. I'm doing pretty well today, and the weather is also very pleasant here. From last 3 to 4 days, we are so fortunate enough to see such a pleasant weather, and before this, it was really cold. How about your side?
Yeah, actually, I'm also from Uttarakhand, so in my side
Mm-hmm.
it's so good. But the problem is, I'm out of the station. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, very soon I will be there, and I also want to enjoy the beauty of that hilly area, the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
and every single step in our state. And I think we both are blessed that we are
Mm-hmm.
from Uttarakhand, from Devbhoomi, isn't it?
So true, so true. We are truly blessed, and we are getting everything for free, and we need not to plan trips and spend a lot of money to travel, around hills. So you are so fortunate enough in that case.
And you won't believe, like, when someone asks me, like, where are you from? When I say, like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
from Uttarakhand, and they say, really, you are from Uttarakhand? Yes, I am from Uttarakhand, because
Mm-hmm.
they know about the beauty of a state. And I
Mm-hmm.
told them very clearly, like, Uttarakhand is just like second heaven in earth.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, second heaven in earth. Like
Mm-hmm.
for adventure, paragliding, rock climbing, parasailing, river rafting, and then if you want to see lakes and all that, then you can go for Nainital. And so much snowfall is here. Every single thing is here. And then people are, yeah, you guys are so lucky. I said, yes,
Hmm.
we are lucky.
But I must say that I'm not into adventurous things. I don't even like traveling around the hills. Like I feel nausea whenever I travel around the mountains, right? But I really like the peaceful environment here. Because if someone is really looking for tranquility and peaceful environment, then Uttarakhand is the place for that.
And the best part of our state is like we have a lot of temples over here, especially four
Mm-hmm.
dhams like Kedarnath, Badrinath, Yamunotri, Gangotri, isn't it? So
Mm-hmm.
somewhere we can just connect our emotions with some devotional emotions, and we
Mm-hmm.
can feel so proud. Like at least whenever we want to go to any temple, we are not that far as like people are
Mm-hmm.
going to different parts of India.
Right. Even in our state, Kedarnath and Badrinath is very famous, but this is an irony that despite living in Uttarakhand, I'm not able to visit till now. That's an irony.
Interesting. Okay, I have visited.
Have you visited? How
Yes,
is
I
the
have
aura
visited.
there? I've seen in reels and like on TV, but I've never visited Kedarnath. How is the aura there?
It's really soothing, sonorous, captivating. I don't even have those exactly that I can use because that's something you won't believe. You feel that where I am, I'm just imagining like I'm in Wonderland, seriously
Mm-hmm.
speaking, you know. And the best part of that particular place is the wind, the air is so like, how could I explain it? It's touching to your face, your skin. You feel
Mm-hmm.
wow. You will not.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to come, like go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, you want to spend your maximum time over there in a particular place.
Mm-hmm. But it must be very chilly there, right?
If you'll go to December,
Mm-hmm.
January, February, so definitely it will be. But if you'll go to like around April, May, June, July, then the
Mm-hmm.
weather is so beautiful over there. You can
Mm-hmm.
easily bear that cold.
And
That's
also, it
not
is
that.
not open always, right? It's open in any
Yeah,
particular months, right?
exactly.
Okay, I hope
So
I'll get some chance to visit there very soon.
definitely have to go there. At least you are from Uttarakhand, and
Mm.
somebody will ask you
Right.
that, have you visited Kedarnath? No, I haven't. So it's something like people you
Yes.
cannot try this easily.
Right. I should definitely go there. We'll plan soon. All
Yes, for
right.
sure. And again, today I think we can talk about that there are so many beginners, intermediate speakers. They want to step up their game. I mean to say, like if they are beginner, they want to reach at intermediate level, and those who are at intermediate level, they want to switch from intermediate to advanced level. So as being a professional English tutor, what you have in your pocket that you can serve to all these guys, and the
Mm-hmm.
way they will use all these tips and tricks, they can level up their spoken English.
That's a great question. And I would like to start with beginners because that's the very first step whenever somebody step into spoken English journey. So that's the very first step. Beginners also, I would say that there are two kind of groups. Someone who don't know anything about English, they are complete beginners, completely fresh mind. So they need to grab a lot of things from the environment, right, from the atmosphere. So wherever they see something in English, they should read it at least once, right, read it aloud, that it should fall into your ears, and then and you're also speaking about it, right? So read everything you see, everything you go across. You know what, when I was in my 10th class, there was this subject that was mandatory to learn, and that was Punjabi. I was in Patiala. I was not very good at speaking because I never tried speaking Punjabi, but then I was really good at reading and writing because that was taught in our class, right? So whenever I used to walk on roads, and whenever I see any hoardings or any board and something written in Punjabi there, I was so curious to read that, because that curiosity should be there whenever you want to learn any new thing. So I was so curious, I used to jump with excitement whenever I see something in Punjabi. I read it, and I used to feel very proud after reading it that I know, and even curious to know more about it, to learn more about it. So that curiosity should be there whenever you want to and learn any new skill or any new language. So if you don't have curiosity, just build that curiosity. So whenever you see something, just read it out. And like everything is there in English these days. Even if you'll go to your kitchen, you'll see labels on containers, that too in English. People are just not labeling things in Hindi these days, so everything in English. So you don't want to lag behind in that area as well. So just read it out, and try to name things around you in English. Let's suppose chair, table, mattress, bed, trees, all these. Try to name all these things, and then only you'll be able to make sentences around it. So start with labeling things, start with naming things, and whatever you know in English, try to bring that all to your Hindi or in your mother tongue, right? And this is how you can start. For example, मेरे घर के सामने बहुत सारे trees हैं. Now you have incorporated trees word in your speaking, right? Next day, as you gain more and more vocabulary, try to incorporate all that also. Let's suppose now you have learned leaves also, branches, then try to explain a tree. The trees में leaves होते हैं, branches होते हैं, beautiful leaves, green leaves, then tree का trunk होता है. So try to speak about it. And then gradually over a period of time, you'll be able to incorporate more of English as you learn new vocabulary, new sentence structure. So you have to keep on doing this. And that patience is really very important. Consistency is the most important thing because you have to do this on regular basis, right? What do you think about it? We have to start with incorporating English words in Hindi first, right?
Somewhere I agree and with some
Mm-hmm.
of my disagreement because what happened, I think you know very well, we do have some habits, but if we will stick with the same habits, that
Mm-hmm.
habit comes in our language as well, in our behavior as well. For
Mm-hmm.
example, the one who is accustomed to follow the translation method for English, so he would be stick on that. It's now really difficult for him
Mm-hmm.
to switch from translation to think in English. So I
Mm-hmm.
would say from initial stage or from the first stage, one has to follow the method of thinking English. Otherwise, if
Mm-hmm.
someone is not able to do that, so yes, translation is also good. But I feel like if someone will translate in this way that पंखा चलता है and he will say
Mm-hmm.
पंखा fan चलता
Mm-hmm. Fan is
walking
running.
है and is walking. So
Uh-huh.
it will be more complicated for me. Like I eat English, I dance English, I read English, I everything in English. So it will be complicated. Though
Mm-hmm.
it's better to try to develop a natural method of thinking English,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be possible. The way you have shared, like
Mm-hmm.
things around you have to start speaking in English, and then you have to just see the level, then you have to speak. In this way, definitely you could develop the method of thinking English. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I think.
Right. I'm also not in the favor of translating, but yes, that I already told you, like just incorporate all those words in your Hindi and then gradually increase the percentage of English in your daily language, right? I also started the same way. Whenever I used to come across any new words in English, I used to speak that in my Hindi language because I didn't have that speaking environment, like English speaking environment. So that is why it was really awkward for me to speak, the proper English, and that too I was not very good at English, right? So that was really difficult. But yes, when we use those English words, whatever we are learning, we try to gain up some confidence, and this is how we keep on moving. So I'm not talking about translating, I'm just talking about label the things in English, learn the name of the objects around you in English, and just speak about them, just use all those words in your Hindi and gradually cover with more of English.
Yeah, I agree. If you are saying in this point of view, where
Mhm.
if you want to acquire some vocabulary, for example, if you want to learn new words, so Hindi to English is a very good idea because in initial stage we don't even know what we can call in Hindi for like for prashansa. If I want to say
Mhm.
prashansa, so we don't know that appreciate is something. And I want to say important. Okay, people say zaruri, but if I want to replace this word important, so what are others words like imperative, crucial, vital?
Mhm.
Same goes with utsuk. So there
Mhm.
are few people who know that a curiosity or curious, right?
Mhm.
So yes, for learning in initial stage, if you will go with like Hindi to English words, basic words, then it's fine. But if you follow the method of translation for whole sentence, that's not a good idea. But as you have mentioned, like you have to just see what's things around you, and you have to think about the English name for those things, and this way you can learn some vocabs. That's really good. And after learning Hindi to English those words, he could make some basic sentences out of it. Yeah, that's correct. I agree with it.
Mhm. Right. And as you've mentioned, that thinking in English is really very important. But at the same time, it's very difficult to sticking to that habit of thinking in English, right? Have you ever faced any difficulty in just continuing with this habit, or are you still following it? Are you able to follow?
Well, the problem is in my initial state, I just follow the same method as you said, like translation. And you won't believe I suffered a lot after a period of time because all the time when someone is talking to me, I need to translate that particular answer first in my native language. Then again, I have to translate the answer in English, and then I have to speak. And it takes a lot of time. And somewhere because of this habit, I was stucking and fumbling a lot. But later on, someone taught me that rather following the traditional and conventional method of translation, why don't you go for some modern and unique technique of thinking English? I know in initial stage it's really difficult to develop the habit of thinking English because we have been thinking in our native language since our childhood. It's a very long duration, isn't it? So as soon as you will try to change your habit from translation to thinking English, it will it will give you a pain. It will give pain to your brain, to your mouth muscles as well, because you have to switch, isn't it? You have to switch from something which you have been following for a long duration. But yes, after 1 month, or if you'll practice on a regular basis, you'd able to do it. That's what I feel personally.
Right. And yes, you rightly said that it's very difficult because we are already thinking English for a long time, thinking in Hindi for a long time, and then switch to English, and that's really painful. And somehow, still, like at this level, I I'm not consciously doing it, but unconsciously sometimes it happens that we think in Hindi. But now, so that now we are comfortable with English, so it's fine for us. But for beginners, they have to deliberately think in English, whatever they are doing. Even if Hindi thoughts are coming to their mind, then also deliberately they have to think in English, right? That I should think in English before doing any work or whatever work I'm going to do. Let's suppose I'm going to make my bed. What do I have to cook for dinner, right? When do my kids come from school? Like that. They have to think everything in English. And then only they'll be able to speak fluently. Otherwise, that gap would always be there. the translation gaps, and they'll get stuck somewhere. And I think because of lack of vocabulary, also people face difficulty in thinking in English because they don't have enough vocabulary in their mind. So, for that, what are your suggestions?
Well, I think you have also observed and you have experienced as well that there are many mentors and trainers who have been suggesting to their students like start thinking English. But I didn't find any single trainer who's telling them that how they can think in English. That's the important part of that conversation, isn't it? See, I'm telling you that think in English. Just try to think in English, but I'm not even telling you that how can you think in English. And what is the point to say that this point that think in English, isn't it? And you won't believe, in my initial stage, I used to say that, how's you?
Mm-hmm.
How's, and someone corrected me that it's not how's you, it's wrong. How is you is wrong. It should be how are you, isn't it? So because I was being accustomed of the same thing, I have been saying the same thing incorrectly, right? Because I'm being accustomed of the same thing. So I know when you will try to transform yourself from wrong to right, it will take time, effort, it will give pain as well. You have to suffer it. But I can bet you, I hope you have seen the difference between the one who speak English by following the method of translation, who translates exactly in his brain and then he speaks, whereas the one who speak English by following the method of thinking English power. What is the big difference I found, as far as my knowledge concerned, that the one who will speak English through translation method will take a lot of time to speak. He may stuck somewhere, fumble, or etc. But in case of the one who starts speaking English through the method of thinking English, will speak English in a very natural way, in an organic way, because he will not overstress about grammar rules, vocab, sentence formation. Though he is making mistake when he is speaking, but everything will come out from his mouth naturally, not in an artificial way, like he's framing sentence first in his
Mm-hmm.
brain and then he's speaking. No, he will spontaneously answer you. Okay, sometimes it doesn't make sense, but still, at least he's at that level where he is speaking spontaneously, and that's more than enough. Later on, he can work on that part of accuracy, which should be there.
Right. Right. That's on the point, and that's what I also wanted to say, that whatever vocabulary, whatever limited vocabulary you have, start with that only. Let's suppose the notebook is on the table, but you don't know the whole sentence, how to say it, in a proper manner. But then you can also say the notebook on table, just like that. Whatever you know, whatever limited vocabulary you have, start with that. And you should be curious enough to know the sentences, know the sentence structure. And immersion is the only way to just improve on this, because when you watch content in English, when you listen to podcast, when you read books, and then only you get exposed to English more and more, and then only you'll be able to get it in your brain and then on your mouth, right?
Great. And out of the box, I just want to know from you, for example, if someone is at intermediate level and he
Hmm.
wants to switch from intermediate to advanced, what
Hmm.
5 points you can suggest to him that he has to follow on a regular basis in his
Hmm.
English practice?
So, intermediate level, in my knowledge, are those speakers. They are able to express themselves clearly, but they are not very acquainted with the idioms and advanced vocabulary, but they are able to express themselves. So, for that, if they want to level up to advanced level, then they have to add on idioms, advanced vocabularies, and they have to speak to more fluent speaker, those who are better than them. So just try to have conversation with the advanced speakers, and from there they can definitely learn new vocabularies, new idioms, and everything, like they can get help to become an advanced speaker. But at the same time, I don't feel it's really very important. But still, if somebody wants to be at that advanced level, for sure they have to watch that kind of videos. They have to watch native speakers as well, because then only they'll get the nuances of English language and how to just get better at it, right? And the practical usage of English language, how to use English in daily conversation. And then there are corporates and formal and informal, right? So this is how they can do. More of idioms and advanced vocabularies to be advanced level.
That's really an amazing idea that you have shared with me because yes, I can resonate somewhere. I would say like I have the same opinion as you have mentioned just now. Uh, Again, I just want to add some points from my side. See, first thing you have already covered, like you have to level up your vocab. Earlier, you were using only basic level of vocab. So now you have to say, you have to include some advanced vocab. For example, as you were saying that you are looking beautiful. So in spite of saying beautiful, you can go for gorgeous. Very common word, but a bit advanced. Right. Now, second thing, as you have said, like idioms, yes, idioms will gonna help you a lot to cut off your long and long sentence and make it quite shorter. Right. So in this way, whatever you want to speak, you will speak with minimum words, with minimum sentences, and it gives a beauty to your sentences as well. Now, third thing is, I think you have heard about intonation,
Mm-hmm.
like rise and fall in your voice. So when you speak, you need to understand that at what part of sentence you have to emphasize on, and what is the functional word and content where you have to emphasize, isn't it? So if you add intonation, something I will say cherry on the cake. Now, fourth one is I've seen people have some myth in their mind that if they will speak English too much fast, so they would consider as a fluent speaker, and that's totally wrong. Speaking too much fast is nothing to do with your fluency and your advanced level. Rather, I would suggest if you speak a little bit slow, you will take proper pauses and you will enjoy your own speaking. Means English is like coming from your mouth automatic, like flow of water, isn't it? So
Mm-hmm.
then I would say yes, he is an advanced level. But last but not least, again yes, we cannot avoid grammar here. In a beginner level or at intermediate level, if you are making some grammar mistakes like he have, not accepted, but okay, that's fine. The person will understand what exactly he or she wants to say. Fine. But if you consider yourself as an advanced speaker and then you are making these kind of mistake, it is something which cannot be digest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there you have to have, I will not say 100%, but at least 80%, 70 to 80% grammar knowledge, and that you
Mm-hmm.
can use during your spoken part. So your grammar should be correct. So these are some 4 and 5 points one
Mm-hmm.
advanced speaker has to keep in accounting if he really wants to switch from intermediate to advanced level. That's what I.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. And I would like to add on the topics also. Like they have to give themselves topics to speak on. They should be able to speak on spontaneous topics as well. Then only they'll be called as an advanced speaker, right? When they'll not fumble whenever they are given any random topics.
Great. And for me, to be very frank with you, I will say the one who can speak English as he can speak in his first language
Mm-hmm.
without thinking about vocabs, grammar rules,
Mm-hmm.
sentence formation, not in a very effortless way, confidently, comfortably, without making a single mistake, without fumbling and stucking, in a natural way where he's making sense and people can understand him the same way as he want to make them understand. So he's an advanced speaker. That's what I believe on.
Right, absolutely true, and couldn't agree more on this. And what do you think? Like, fluency is time bound because one is starting at a beginner level and then they have to get at an advanced level. So, how much time will it take for them to get at that advanced level?
Well, there are so many factors which affect this particular thing. See, as I said before, first, your upbringing. Like, what about your upbringing? Your parents also speak in English. If they speak English, I'm damn sure their son will also speak English naturally, as they have been speaking English since their childhood, right?
Hmm.
Second, the environment. People around you, they also speak in English or not? If they will, definitely you will also speak English if you want to communicate with them. Third,
Right.
education system. In which school you have studied, in an English medium school or Hindi medium school. I hope you have heard about those schools where Hindi is not allowed. If you will speak a
Mm-hmm.
single sentence or word in Hindi, you have
Mm-hmm.
to. you have to just pay money for that, and you have
Mm-hmm.
to speak in English, no matter whether you are making mistake or not. But you have
Mm-hmm.
to speak in English only.
Hmm.
That's matter. Fourth, what exactly you have decided for your life, what exactly you want to do in your life. For example, the one who wants to become an English teacher, definitely he would focus in his English since he has completed his academic qualification. He's a enter in a college and any a professional institution. He will definitely focus on it, right? Now, fifth, what exactly you want to do. If you are looking for a job, if you are looking for a HR, or you want to go abroad for higher education, and you have to crack IELTS exam, so those preparations required a very good level of English, right? So you will definitely gonna focus on it. And last but not least, what are the methodology you are using in order to improve your spoken English? Because the shoes fit for me might pinch others. It means the tips and tricks which work for you may not work for someone else. So it depends. Do you know what is your weakness, and are you working on it or not? For example, if I'm not good at my grammar, and on a daily basis I'm just trying to improve my vocab, does it make any sense? I think it doesn't make. I should
Mm-hmm.
work upon my weakness part first, isn't it? So all these factors all together will decide how much time you will take in order to being fluent in this language. Yeah, that's all I can say.
So true. You have articulated it in a very nice manner, I must say. And now, this thing must be very clear to our viewers that fluency is not time bound, it depends on many factors. Also, if you don't have all these privileges like a spoken English atmosphere at your home or in your school, then also you can get or you can build this atmosphere by yourself, right? You just have to surround yourself with English. Not maybe uh, you're not getting that atmosphere at your home, but you can build it digitally, like the way we are doing. We are speaking in English every day, right? We are making content in English every day. So this is how we are surrounding ourselves in English. So that can definitely be done.
True, and you
Mhm.
hit nail on the head. Superb. You have concluded everything.
All right. Anything else
Yeah.
you want to
So
add about this topic?
no,
Mhm.
I've done from my side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Okay. I think we have covered all the important aspects about this topic, like how to just level up yourself from beginner to intermediate and then advanced level. There would be many more things around it, but yes, we can discuss all those in our further videos as well because it's really difficult to cover all the things at once, and sometimes we are not even able to recall all the points at once. So yes, we'll definitely discuss later. And for now, let's wrap up this conversation here only. And I hope to meet you very soon.